stories to lift each other, give hope to push us further, and encourage one another. Behind the scenes,
Larry Sims. To say jack of all trades would be an understatement. Larry Sims is one of the most sought-after hairstylists in Hollywood, working with some of the most breathtaking women, from Zendaya, Mary J. Blige, Queen Latifah, Sanaa Lathan, Regina King, Missy Elliot, and Gabrielle Union. He's done countless magazine covers and created trend-setting looks that have inspired millions. This Chicago native has worn many hats, figuratively and physically, by doing a hat collaboration with the company Central Ave, getting his first introduction to entertainment as a dancer, performing with artists such as Missy, Brandy, Jessica Simpson, and the group Black, even hitting the big screen in blockbusters such as Dreamgirls and Stomp the Yard. With a personality so big that it was requested to the small screen as the star of Bravo's show, Invite Only Cabo. And his newest venture with longtime best friend Gabrielle Union on their hair care line, Flawless. Larry Sims shows us how to live life with no limitations.
Okay, so we have with us Larry Sims. What up,
brother?
Larry?
What up, bro?
I was just saying, I really need your light, sir.
Oh, man, you look great. Thank you.
Whatever. So how have you been? How has pandemic life been treating you?
You know, I've been fortunate. I think like for everybody at the beginning of it, we were all just stunned, taken aback. You know, we didn't know what was going to be happening. We didn't know how we were going to be able to move. I was one of those people in the grocery store with 2 carts of groceries.
Right. Do you still wipe your groceries down?
I still, you know what? I got sick of wiping my groceries down. I still do wipe them down. But like, I just thought to myself the other day when I came in with a bunch of stuff, like, God, like, when am I going to not wipe down like the dog food? And like, they have like so many little dog packets. I'm just like, yo, this is crazy. But yeah.
I probably did that maybe once or twice. I could not do the wiping down of the groceries. It was just too much.
Yeah, I did it for a year. And now I'm at the tail end of it. You know, through the pandemic, you know, I was able to launch Flawless with Gabrielle. You know, as the industry started to like open up a little bit, we found ways to go to work, you know, with all of your protective gear on. I've been working a lot, actually.
I was going to say, speaking of which, you have not, it doesn't seem like it hindered you any. If anyone follows you on social media, there's a constant post from Regina to working with Gabrielle to a host of other people that you're constantly working. So yeah, you got to slow down.
A blessing. It really is a blessing. And, you know, I don't take it for granted because I know that there are so many people who've been affected by it negatively. So many of my peers, our peers, friends of ours that I know that have slowed down, unfortunately. So, you know, you have a lot of gratitude to be able to stay above water during these unfortunate circumstances and times. But yeah, knock on wood, I've been good.
That's what's up. Okay, so you are one of the most, I would say, one of the most famous hairstylists there is. I would. I mean, you really, you have been a quadruple threat. You've done a lot of things. So for those people that, just in case someone lives under a rock and they don't know who you are, you're Larry Sims. You're from Chicago.
Yes.
Okay, so this is the house where I have some of my fondest memories as a kid. I loved this home right here. We used to clean on Saturdays with the music going, with his family. We all were happy.
Some people may know and some people don't know that you were a dancer.
Yes, for many years.
But how long were you a dancer?
God, for like at least, first of all, I say once a dancer, always a dancer. Like I'm like Debbie Allen in this joint. Like, you know, I'm gonna always claim that I'm a dancer. But like professionally,
do you go and train at times? Do you train and stuff every so often?
I don't. Yeah, I wasn't trained when I was a dancer,
Oh,
actually,
okay.
professionally. Yeah, I just wasn't into class. And everything that I was able to pull off was self-taught. You know, being able to pick up choreography and whatnot. But yeah, I danced like maybe 13 years professionally before I transitioned.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's a long time.
I
And
started off in my teens. 17 was the first gig that I got as a dancer. 16 actually.
oh wow. And so you how old were you when you moved to LA?
I was, oh God, I was 22.
22. Okay.
Yeah.
And so you went there in hopes to continue as far as dancing, or what was your hopes then?
Yeah, definitely it was all about dance. It was like, I am a dancer and I'm going to go to the city with, with big opportunities. And that's where I auditioned for Missy in 2000 for the Get Your Freak On music video. And she hired me for that video and it just went from there.
Okay, cool. So you danced with Missy. By you dancing, did that help you to sort of work with the celebrity clients that you got? Like, were they trusting you? Were they like, okay, I know him to be a dancer, I don't know him to be a hairstylist?
Right. I mean, that was the biggest hurdle to jump over because when people in the industry see you as just one thing, it's hard for them to just see you and respect you. More importantly, respect you enough to hire you and give you opportunity as something else. Like Missy, for example, like she's been a blessing to me in a lot of ways. Like, she knew that I was styling hair and was talented in that, I guess, back then. Because we lived together for a couple of years also. So on our off time, I would like hook her up, so she actually gave me my first 2 covers. And we were in Jamaica and we shot 2 covers in Jamaica and I ended up styling them for them. This is before I had a cosmetology license, had gone to school or any of it. So, Missy definitely has looked out for me big time.
Okay. So go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, and like, with friends in the industry, like Latifah, she gave me my first ebony cover, fresh out of cosmetology school. I met Gabrielle back when I was dancing for Black because they did Bring It On together, that movie, the cheerleader movie.
Oh yeah.
And she introduced us introed us because we were performing to promote the movie. She came on our tour bus, asked where the cocktails were. I knew where they were. So we clicked then, but like when I transitioned to being, a hairstylist, she was one of the first people that were like, absolutely, come on, let's ride.
That is crazy how you have such rooted friendships and that go so way back with these people that we see you with.
Yeah.
Where did your love for hair come from? Like what sparked that?
Probably it came out of frustration, to be honest with you, because I would have to sit in salons with my mom and my sister on Saturdays for hours. Those Black salon experiences.
Right.
And I remember being super young, like, and annoyed that I was just stuck there. And then like I one day looked up and started like appreciating the huge transformations that these women would come in looking one way and then would walk out like completely different. And it showed in the pep in their step, how just their whole aura changed. And so like I looked at hairstylists as magicians, definitely, growing up, and became fascinated.
So you were, because that's what I'm trying to figure out. Was this something that you sort of took on after you were far in dance, or was this something that you sort of was doing at the same time? You were sort of dancing, but you also was loving hair at the same time? Was this?
Yeah, at the same time. I remember my first attempt at even touching anybody's hair was my niece, because I had to babysit her. And I was young, maybe 14. And I remember I wanted to take her somewhere and her hair looked crazy. And I was like, you're not going anywhere with me with your hair looking like that. So just from sitting in the salons, I just picked up on how to just groom. And so it became my responsibility to take care of my niece's hair. And that's kind of how it all started. And then in high school, I went to a performing arts high school.
Walt Disney Magnet School. This grammar school right here absolutely changed my entire life.
I was a dance major, but we would put on all of these shows. And you know, I would like style the hair for our theater productions while dancing as well. And then strippers were, you know, a big thing in Chicago. And these girls knew that I knew how to do weaves, and they would pay me like $200 to do their weaves back then. And for a kid in high school, that was like a grip, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was like my side hustle.
So what's funny is clearly strippers are the way to greatness, because Sir John's story was the same thing. He worked in the strip clubs doing their makeup.
I remember working so much and just not making a lot, you know. So I started working and doing makeup in Queens in a strip club called Riviera.
So apparently strippers are the
Strippers have that fast cash, and they don't mind giving it to you.
They don't mind
offering the service.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
All
Shout
right.
out to the stripper girls. We love you.
All right. So what was one of your most hugest breaks? When did your career just change? Like, you're doing hair, you're in LA, you're dancing, you're doing hair, you're working in a salon?
Okay, so I briefly assisted in Freedom Salon. No, it wasn't Freedom Salon. I did assist in Freedom Salon, but that was when I was in cosmetology school. I was Johnny's assistant.
Okay.
And then in LA, I forgot the name of the salon, which is terrible. But you know, a lot of who's who work.
But the thing about LA, those salons would change so quick, and they would be here today and gone tomorrow. So
here today, gone tomorrow, exactly. But the big break happened when I assisted Ken Pavis. I met Ken because I was dancing for Jessica Simpson on the People's Choice Awards. And to make a long story short, I ended up, her wardrobe stylist ended up introducing me to Ken because she saw me on my laptop looking at some images. I didn't have a book. And they were just images that I had put together of some friends that I had shot. And she's like, why are you dancing? You need to be a hairstylist. These are amazing. I'm going to introduce you to Ken. He's going to change your life. I'm like, whatever. She introduces me to him. He ends up hiring me to work in his salon on Robertson at the time here in LA. And I would go on jobs to assist him. And, you know, he eventually got a call one day to go and do a shoot with Victoria Beckham. And he wasn't available because he was off working with Jennifer Lopez. And he sent me, and it changed my life completely. She loved what I did, and she ended up like hiring me for everything. The Bob happened. I went on tour with the Spice Girls with her. She put me on David's Armani underwear campaigns and Adidas campaigns, and people just wondered who the black boy was with the Beckhams, and people just started calling from there.
And that was such an iconic Bob. I mean, it was one of those that was in all the hair magazines. Everybody that came in the salon, they brought that picture of that Bob.
Of that Bob. And really, that Bob is something that we've all seen for years. I think decades, really. You know what I mean? I think about Vidal Sassoon and that Bob, you know, just the angle cuts from in the 60s as well. I think what made it so special is because she is so iconic. And her look.
Icon.
She's a style icon, right? So it really, you know, some of that bled into what I was getting, you know, complimented on and praised for. So you know, her greatness bled into my fortune. You know, my fortune in terms of like where my career was going to go.
Got you. Okay, so your career's taking this new whirlwind effect. So now that means the magazines are calling you. They want you to do all these write-ups. They want you. At this time, do you have an agent?
No, not at all. I was navigating through all of it with Ken, really. I remember getting my the first magazine that wanted to do an article on me about that Bob was Vanity Fair. And I'm just like, yo, how? Like, what am I supposed to say? How am I supposed to navigate through this? And Ken definitely helped coach me through a lot of it. And then eventually, it was crazy because agents just started calling. I signed with the Rex agency initially, and then went on to other agencies after that. But Rex was the first agency that I officially signed with. They gave me an opportunity in terms of representation.
Okay, so many people always wonder agency or not agency. I'm sure with you would say agent.
Yeah, I would say agent simply because I don't like the negotiations part of it all. I mean, I could hire like a family member or somebody, a friend to negotiate my deals for me, but I don't know. I like the structure of um, having somebody deal with my schedule, navigate through the phone calls that I know and I trust. And I also like being a part of a roster of greatness, with exclusive, with not exclusive. I love exclusive too, but with Forward, which is the agency that I'm with now, it's just like my friends are there, and it's just great company that I'm keeping. But I do also understand the independence of not having an agent because you get to keep more money in your pocket. You know what I mean? So, there's a fine line between that. I mean, maybe I will be without an agent at some point, but for right now, it just feels good.
Got you. What I love about you, Larry, and I try to take away something from every person, especially anybody that I interview them with purpose because they have, to some degree, given me a blueprint of what is possible. And you've given the blueprint to not be boxed in. I mean, you've done everything from, of course, like we said, dancing, but you come up with a hat line. You had your own show on Bravo. You are now with this with Flawless. You and Gabrielle teaming up to put this out. Where does all of that come from? That determination not to be just one thing, and how are you accomplishing it?
Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate that. Ambition has always been something that's been in the forefront, basically, of how I live my life. I had to be ambitious to get out of Chicago, the west side of Chicago, to be able to live and dream beyond my circumstances. So, with that in mind, I had to be creative in terms of how to get out. Instead of going to college, I took a chance and I went on a tour. Like, so I always am like a risk taker. I always feel like people that are successful have to take really huge risks. And sometimes the odds are stacked against you, but you always have to bet on yourself. So in all of the stuff that I do, I really take risks. I bet on myself, and then I get bored easily too. So it's like, I feel like if God has blessed you with any form of talent, whether that be cooking, whether that be drawing, whether that be photography, just because you're a hairstylist doesn't mean you can't tap into those other gifts. I think it's doing yourself and God a disservice to not really, tap into and exercise and flow, let those gifts flow through you. I love hats. Everybody knows that. I was like, boom, I'm gonna do a hat line. I've been a performer because of my dance career. Boom, the Bravo opportunity came up. I'm like, yo, let's take a stab at it. Why not? Gab and I have been friends for over 20 years. I've been a spokesperson for Smooth and Shine and got to be for 10 plus years. Now I'm, an owner in a business with one of my best friends that's Black owned. So I feel fortunate because I really feel like I speak a lot of these things into my life that exist. And then I'm not afraid of doing the hard work either to make sure that they're executed and are accessible to the world.
Okay, so yeah, let's talk about reality TV. Like in my past interviews, I've talked to Johnny, which had a show with one of your good friends, Tamar Braxton.
Yeah.
We also, I talked to Sir John last week, and he talked about doing his show on Lifetime. You, out of both of them, took a little pivot as far as yours wasn't so hair centered. Yours was more like, what made you go in that direction instead of hair direction?
It's crazy because I was working on a couple of different pitches for hair heavy, content that was that was derived from hair, and we had like huge attachments to it in terms of celebrity. We had a production deal, and Sally Ann from 495 reached out to me like in the midst of all of that because it's a process, right? If like somebody just doesn't come to you and say, look, I want you to do this show, like to get a show sold, to pitch it, like if, you have this show, you have a platform, like it's a lot of red tape that you have to cut through, and you have to have a lot of people that really believe in what you're going to do. And initially, we had hit a brick wall with the show that was going the most in terms of what the hair show was going to be. And then at the time, Sally Ann called in simultaneously from 495 Productions. 495 Productions is a production company that does Jersey Shore. She does the Snoop and Martha show. She does Taraji's show. And anyways, she called right when we had hit a brick wall with the other show. And I just saw it as an opportunity. The concept was hers, not mine. The concept was a collaboration between her and Bravo. And she was like, I think you're fascinating. I think your life is amazing. And this is the show concept.
Larry didn't call me for this. I called Larry. Yeah. And the best call I made.
And I was reluctant. I really was reluctant because I know what those types of, shows can do to friendships, to brands. And, I was like, if this is going to give me the visibility and the status that I need to get my other stuff done, then I'm gonna ride with it. And I did it. And we did one season, and people are still hitting me up about that show, bro. Like, people are like, I want you and your friends to go back on vacation. They be atting Andy. They be atting Bravo. Bring him back. But yeah, I mean, that show's not coming back, ladies and gentlemen, officially, if I've never said it before. At least I would be.
So are you still designing hats? You still?
I am. I did a collaboration with Central Avenue. That was great. And, that was like a capsule line. It was a limited run. So now I'm doing it independently. And, I've just been a little weird about when to launch it because I feel like people have been stuck in the house. Like, I feel much better to do it this year than last year. So I just kind of held off last year because we didn't know. Nobody was going anywhere to wear a hat. But now that I feel like we're slowly coming out of this, I'm definitely going to be launching this year.
Okay, that's what's up. All right, so tell us about Flawless Beauty. Like, okay, because I believe Gabrielle had sort of done Flawless before, or she had worked on, because you working with her. I would always see in your posts, you would always say Flawless, Flawless, Flawless Beauty. But then I felt like she repackaged. Correct me if I'm wrong. What really went on with that?
Right. So what happened with Flawless was she launched it in 2017, I believe. I couldn't really be attached to it because I was still in my deal with Schwarzkopf. But like, I tried to help out as much as I could because I knew that she was on this venture, and I didn't want her to necessarily do it alone, but she ended up having to contractually, just because I couldn't really be a part of it. So she did it. She launched it. I helped her out with the photo shoot for the campaign, but she had to be in wigs the whole photo shoot because she had lost like huge chunks of her hair, like down to like bald spots in the front of her hairline. And that was caused by her IVF treatments when she was trying to get pregnant. And, the hormonal imbalance just wrecked her hair. And I think because of the inauthenticity that she felt, and also what people probably were saying, which is, she is always in wigs. Why are we buying products from her? It just didn't make her feel good. And, the price point was too high. And she was just like, I just want to shut it down. Like, this is not working out. Her and the previous partners, they weren't seeing eye to eye. They were like pushing her to go. And she's like, if I do this, I want to do this authentically. Like, I have one shot at this. And if people feel like I'm selling them a bunch of BS, then what is it? I can't do this just to line your pockets. I have to do this and be able to look at myself in the mirror. So she shut it down. And when she was able to wrangle back the company and the name, she brought me in, and we reformulated. We had some partners that believed in what we were doing together as a partnership. The dynamic duo, as I like to call us. And we went into the labs. We worked out some kinks. We reformulated all of the products. It took us a year and some change to get that done. We did some testing on all different hair types, obviously. And we came up with what you see behind me, which is our Flawless brand. And it is amazing. And, we're in Sally's, we're on Amazon. We're expanding this year also to a really huge, what word am I looking for? Distributor. And it really has superseded any of our expectations in terms of how it's been performing and how people have been receiving it.
I have to give it up for Sally's. I mean, they ain't giving me no money for this. I will just give them I will give them a slight shout out for the fact that they have really been behind Black owned businesses, which you guys, Kenya Moore, Vernon, yes. Oh my God, Vernon.
Yeah.
It was a
Kim Kimball's in Sally too.
So I would shout out to them for really representing and making sure that Black owned businesses get pushed, and I really appreciate them for that.
Yeah, they've been an amazing partner, and they really have given us like star treatment in terms of making sure that our rollout was really big. You know, the visibility, the signage, the videos that play in certain stores. They really have been amazing partners.
Okay, so I will ask you this: if you were on a deserted island, I asked Kenya Moore this too, out of her product line. You're on a young lady's on a deserted island. She can only take two products from the line. What are the two that you tell her take this and go?
I would tell her to take definitely our exotic oil drops. It's amazing. It's the lightest oil. I'm so proud of this oil because we really fought hard to make sure that, you know, oils sometimes weigh your hair down. And, you know, if you have a blowout or whatever it is, it can like just it doesn't have any movement. It can destroy it. Exactly. So our oil drops are really amazing. They're light. And if you're, you know, stranded somewhere, you may need some oil on your elbows. Maybe it works for everything.
Not oil on the elbows.
Okay. Get those elbows together. Okay. And then also what I would say, our 3-minute restoring conditioner is also amazing. This is probably one of my favorite items in the line. It is so moisturizing. If you're on a desert, you obviously are going to be suffering from a lot of heat, but this is so moisturizing. And I also use this sometimes as a cleansing conditioner. We have a co-wash, but you know, sometimes, you know, you don't want to like strip the hair. I'll like cleanse my wigs sometimes in my kit with just the 3-minute restorative conditioner because it refreshes it. It strips away the residue and the dirt, but it also keeps it hydrated and moisturized. I sound like an infomercial.
No, not at all. I mean, listen, you're supposed to be educated on your stuff. And you got no script right there, so it's in your heart.
It is in my heart.
It's in your heart. Larry, you've had such a vast career. I always like to ask, like, because if you follow your life is sort of like a movie. Not to mention you've been in movies. I mean, girls performing and dancing and stuff, all that. So I like to ask, give me 3 of your most life-changing moments, things that have happened. Give me 3 that like like when you sit down and you reflect on the life of Larry Sims, you're like, wow, I can't believe God allowed me to experience that.
Oh God! In terms of hair or just in life?
Just I mean, whatever. Like just moments in your life. I mean, because it could have been in your dance career. It could have been whatever. Just some amazing moments.
Yeah, I mean, definitely meeting Missy was a game changer for me. She became one of my closest friends. She always has pushed me and has always believed in me. I remember at one point I thought this was after cosmetology school. I didn't know if I was going to be an A&R or a hairstylist because I love music. And she took me under her wings and I became like her assistant / A&R for her independent record label. And we put out records on Monica and Tweet and Jasmine Sullivan. And, you know, I mean, and I met Whitney through her and we would all hang out together. We lived in the same building in Miami. Like my Missy days have definitely, it's just like, God, thank you so much for allowing that to be a part of my texture because it really did change my life. The second would have to be Kim Pavis and Victoria. Like that single-handedly changed my life. It really, really, really changed my life. And I would have to say also my relationship with Gab. Like meeting her as a dancer, and then for us to like have this full circle moment, and for me to actually go from a 10+ year partnership with Schwarzkopf, you know, which was it was an extreme blessing for me. You know, partnerships, sometimes you get a year or two and then they go away. But then to actually seamlessly transition from that to what she has offered me and what we've been able to do for this brand, it is definitely a game changer.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask this question. It's probably gonna be a weird question, but you are such a personality, like from fashion. Look, for fashion, like when when Larry Sims is there, people know it, right? And since this is a lot of professionals and stuff watch this, some people feel intimidated by you, and especially these.
Really? Intimidated?
I'm gonna ask you, do you feel like people have you experienced that?
Where people are intimidated?
Because some celebrities like to only be the only celebrity. Some people now, there are two types of people.
Yeah, that's true.
Some people that love their whole crew to be about that life, and so that it reflects well on them. But then there are some people that like to downplay the people around them, and they only want to be the center of attraction. And if someone else comes in that steals any of that shine, you know.
Well, yeah, no, I get what you're saying. I mean, people know what they are signing up for if they're bringing me around. So it's like, you can't bring me around and then try to dim my light. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not possible. Right. If anything, I think in terms of my clients, they are with the shits. They are, they want me to, if I don't walk in with my whole, like, you know, that thing that my Larryisms,
right?
They're like asking me if I'm okay. You know what I mean? I can't have an off day. People don't want you to be off. Right. They want you to show up and give that thing.
Right.
I haven't, and if anybody has been intimidated, I'm definitely not working with them anymore. You know, like so many people, I have people that have filtered off. I have people that have called me. I was just working with somebody really huge that doesn't call me anymore, and I get it. You know, because if she had called me, I probably would have said no anyway. Right. So if you know, the matches don't always, you know, it's sometimes it's a clash of the titans, and you have to be around people to know that. And when it doesn't fit, I'm cool on it. I'm not that strapped. So,
gotcha. No, you definitely not strapped. You're not. You're a lot of things, but strapped is not one of them.
No, let me tell you something though. Like, when I was not making any money, when I was like literally like crawling to figure out how to put money in my pocket, I still like had a standard. Like, I just wouldn't say yes to everything because it just didn't feel good to me. And I think that is super important. I mean, like, I would go without before I put myself in a situation that I knew was not going to be beneficial to my soul, you know, because you can die. Your soul can be, once your soul is gone, then there's a darkness that happens that, you know, it's just not worth the money.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. I don't do jobs just for the money either. Mm-mm. Yes. All right. So my last question is the one I ask everyone is, what is beautiful to you?
Okay, so beautiful to me definitely is it's an internal light that is that shines from within you. You know what I mean? Like, it's the light that comes out of your eyes when people are looking into them. You know how certain people have just this spirit about them. It's not about physical. It's not about what your hair looks like. It's not about what clothes you have on. Like, I've seen homeless people that are absolutely beautiful to me. You know what I mean? And it's in their spirit. It's in their soul. And that's what real true beauty is, in my opinion.
It was this guy, just a random, it was this guy that used to be outside of ABC Studios. And if I was an agent, he was homeless. I mean, dirty, filthy homeless. And he was one of those people that if I was an agent, I would have swiped him up off of the street because he was beautiful, matted hair and all. And I could he would have been huge in the modeling game.
Yeah.
Exactly what you mean.
Yeah. It's super important. And you're a beautiful friend.
Oh, thank you. You are too, Larry. I miss you. I miss you coming to the show and us shenanigans and all. I need things to open up real soon, friend.
I know, man. Like I haven't been to New York. You know how often I was coming to New York. I've not been to New York in over a year. Like I am itching to get to the city. Me and Gabrielle are actually going to be working on a movie this summer in New York. So that it's a short joint, but it's going to be fun.
I thought you said no more movies. You was done.
Let me tell you, this movie that we're about to start this next week is like I'm getting in the union. And the only reason I want to get in the union is because I feel like at this juncture in my career, I deserve it. Like, you know, people spend a lifetime trying to get in these unions and they don't make it easy, especially for people of color. And if I can be a representation of what can be possible, and if I can be a part of the union and as a member sort of change the narrative or try to create opportunities for more Black and brown people, then I should do it. I think it would have been selfish for me to say, no, I don't want to do this movie because I don't want to be in the union. I think it would have done a disservice to what I want my legacy to represent. And I think it'll, you know, I think me being in there can just add a little bit of a difference for somebody else who is looking to get in also. So I am doing it, and it's with Gab, so it shouldn't be that heavy, hopefully.
Okay. I know I said last question, and people joke because I always say, but I'm gonna ask you this, and then we're gonna get off for real. But what are some? That's my thing. I say one more question, and then
because Wendy wasn't having it when you did it.
Derek, I've got to go.
Oh,
bye.
And she shut me down.
She shut you down.
It was her fault. She kept on talking. I'm like, say, all right, bye. I said,
right.
What do I think about her?
When that computer was shut, I'm
telling you, I loved it. I was so glad she did it.
It was very generous. Yeah, it was really dope of her to do that for you.
Yeah. Future goals.
Future goals. Wow. I mean, that can be. It's so many levels of future goals. I live really nice in LA. I love my home. I'm definitely going to purchase more property. You know, somewhere down the line, I'm sure I'll come out with a line of Larry Sims products outside of what we're doing with Flawless. You know, just expand and inspire. You know, I have been in talks about opening up a cosmetology school. You know, which I'm excited about. There's more TV happening, which I'm excited about. Definitely have been talking about 2 book ideas that I'm really excited about. You know, expanding my hat collection to sort of like a lifestyle collection. You know, expanding it to like, you know, champagne glasses. You know,
because you listen.
You know, betting.
Fabulous life, friend. You about that fabulous life.
Give me candles, whatever it is, you know, just expanding the brand and continuing to, you know, create magic.
That's what's up. I love you so much. Thank you again for doing this.
I love you too, brother. It's been a long time coming. Thank you so much for having me.
And as soon as you touch down in New York, please give a brother a call.
I promise you I will.
All right. Take care.
I see you, boy.
Behind the scenes beauty.